The age-old question, can people really see into the future? Whether it's crystal balls, tarot cards, or just a gut feeling, humans have always been fascinated by the idea of peering beyond the present. But let's put the hocus-pocus aside and look at 5 real-world examples that might just make you wonder if some people truly have a knack for glimpsing tomorrow, today. Let's start with one of the most famous stories in history, the sinking of the Titanic. Almost everyone knows the tragic tale, but did you know that 14 years before the Titanic sank, a writer named Morgan Robertson penned a novella titled Futility, or The Wreck of the Titan? The book eerily predicted the disaster, down to the fact that the ship was dubbed unsinkable, carried insufficient lifeboats, and struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Coincidence? Maybe, but it's one heck of a coincidence that's hard to ignore. Next up, we have the curious case of J. Bernard West, a White House butler with a sixth sense, or maybe just a really good guess. In 1950, West reportedly warned President Truman's staff that the British embassy in Washington would be attacked. Just days later, it happened. Now, did West have some secret intelligence? Nope. He just claimed he had a hunch. That's one hunch that probably earned him a few extra tips that week. Moving on to something a bit more recent, let's talk about the 9/11 predictions. Long before the tragic events of September 11th, 2001, there were countless mentions in pop culture that seem eerily predictive. The pilot episode of The Lone Gunman, an X-Files spin-off, depicted a plot to crash a hijacked plane into the World Trade Center 6 months before 9/11. And then there's The Simpsons, where a 1997 episode showed a magazine cover with the numbers 9 and 11 next to the Twin Towers. Now, The Simpsons has a history of weirdly accurate predictions, but this one still sends chills down the spine. Ever heard of Mark Twain? Of course you have, but did you know that the famous author predicted the exact date of his own death? Born in 1835, the year Halley's Comet passed by Earth, Twain famously said he came in with the comet and expected to go out with it too. Sure enough, Halley's Comet returned in 1910 and Twain passed away the very next day. Was Twain a master of literary foresight, or did he just have an incredible sense of dramatic timing? Either way, it's a prediction that played out perfectly. Finally, let's touch on the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens. Geologist David A. Johnston was one of the experts monitoring the volcano, and he famously predicted the exact day and time the eruption would occur. On May 18, 1980, just hours before the explosion, Johnston radioed in with a calm, "Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it!" Unfortunately, Johnston was caught in the eruption, but his precise prediction saved countless lives by prompting timely evacuations. Some call it science, others might call it a touch of prophecy. So, can people really see into the future? While these examples might not be definitive proof, they certainly give us pause. Whether it's a lucky guess, a gut feeling, or a subtle reading of the signs around us, sometimes the future seems to make a sneak peek into the present. But who knows? Maybe the next great prediction is just around the corner, or maybe it's already happened, and we're just waiting for time to catch up. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this little trip through time, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more mind-bending content. And remember, keep your eyes open, because you never know what tomorrow might bring.